Hello and welcome. I'm Pastor Matthew Best from St. Stephen Lutheran Church. I also serve as the chair of the Synod Task Force on Homelessness and Affordable Housing. And today I have a special guest with me. It is Maureen Nations, who is the manager of the Community Partners for Change that's associated with the Cumberland County Housing Authority. And welcome, Maureen. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you for having me.
And Maureen, if you could just say very briefly, what is the Community Partners for Change so that people have a sense of, who is this person?
The Community Partners for Change is a community-based coalition for Cumberland County. It's the model we use is the collective impact model, meaning that we want to engage all members in all facets of our community to help us find a way to move forward in changing the housing system for Cumberland County. The goal is to create more equitable, affordable, and accessible housing for all members of Cumberland County.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And today, I just want to take just a couple of minutes to ask about the evictions moratorium that is ending. And so maybe if you could just briefly give a description of, what does it look like as far as this evictions moratorium is coming to an end? What might congregations need to be aware of?
I think the most important thing is that we are going to see a greater number of people in need of housing. And these people are not just going to be individuals, but it's going to be families. We have already seen over this last year an uptick in the number of people that are seeking housing, that are facing homelessness, that are not able to pay their rent, sometimes not able to pay a mortgage if they've been in a position to own a home. So as the CDC eviction moratorium comes to an end, those people that are in the position of not being able to pay to maintain their housing will be evicted or could possibly be evicted. Now, the eviction moratorium has simply said a landlord could not evict a tenant based solely on non-payment of rent. And that is what will come to an end. We have seen some evictions happen already due to other violations of the lease, possibly leases. Now that we've been over a year of the pandemic, some leases have come up for renewal, and sometimes the rent has been increased and they have not been able to renew the lease. But we will see a great number of people facing eviction in the coming months.
So that's, I've heard some folks describe it as like a tsunami of evictions.
It could well be. We really don't know at this point. We just know that we have seen the uptick over the past year to increase it almost by 70% of the number of people seeking housing. But it's hard to get your head around the number of the people that will be facing that.
Right, absolutely.
But it will be, we are expecting large numbers of people.
Yeah, and so that means there's probably going to be a lot of folks who come to the doors of churches all throughout South Central Pennsylvania. And so maybe if you could share, what are some kind of initial things that congregations might be able to do to prepare for when folks are going to start knocking on their doors or calling on their phones?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that there is funding available out there. There's many federal and state funds that are available for payment of past due rents, as well as rents moving forward for those people that qualify. So for churches to be able to let the congregations know, get word out that there still are funds available. This funding program runs through the end of this year and may well be extended. And applications are easy. And the simplest way to get access to those funds and see if you qualify is simply to go to the Cumberland County Housing and Redevelopment Authority website, which is www.cchra.com. And you will see a banner is explaining the program and how to apply. So that's first and foremost, that if they have not been evicted, please let them know that when we might be able to help them. Now, once they are facing eviction and they do come to the church's doors, the number one resource for churches to refer them to is 211, and that is statewide. If they dial simply 211, that will connect them with the line to be able to obtain other resources, excuse me, as well as to register on the coordinated entry system. That coordinated entry system puts them on the list to notify all the agencies that these people are seeking housing. So as housing opportunities come available, agencies will go to this coordinated entry system and find the list of people that have been registered and seek to get them into housing.
And Maureen, you mentioned about the Cumberland County Housing Authority. Do you have, what, for people who are in other counties, are there housing authority organizations in the other counties that run throughout South Central Pennsylvania?
Yes, generally every county will have some housing resource, but the 211 will connect you to the resources for the county in which you live.
Perfect. Great. Thank you very much. Is there any other information that would be really helpful for folks as they're either folks are coming to their doors or they're talking with people in the congregation and they have these type of situations going on? Anything else that you'd like to share?
Well, I think something for the churches to keep in mind is that you are likely to see many families, which means there are going to be children involved. Some of the people that you will encounter may well be working, but they can't afford childcare. So if there are churches that have buildings that have room that they might be able to utilize during the day, the people could either, if they have childcare services available, that would be wonderful. Even if they open up their buildings to allow people to come in for the afternoon to have a place to rest. And you can imagine yourself, if you're homeless and you have no place in the evening, and especially if you have children, you're not sleeping at night. You know, it's so a place that's a safe place for them to be able to just sit down and relax for a little bit, maybe catch a nap. So opening up the buildings, if you have that opportunity, would be great. Like I said, childcare is something that many of the homeless don't have ready access to, especially now given the pandemic situations and the limitations on how many children can be in certain situations and the social distancing. Another opportunity for churches would be to help with online schooling. You know, if it's hard for parents to concentrate and to help children with their online schooling when they don't even have a roof over their head, when there's so many other stressors on them. So any of those types of helps that churches would be able to provide would be wonderful for those that are in a position of not having housing.
And that also speaks to the idea that oftentimes, you know, challenges that we face, we shouldn't try to do this alone, right? I mean, that's kind of the overall message, is that don't try to do this alone. Even what you're talking about with the schools, great opportunity for congregations to reach out to their local school district and to partner with school districts. School districts love to be able to work with congregations. And things have changed over the last several decades to really allow for partnerships, whether it's with a school district, with nonprofits, with government agencies, because we're all recognizing how we need each other in order to tackle the challenges that we face. And, you know, everybody's got their specific role. Churches have their role. And one of the things that churches can provide is an intentional community, a committed relationships with folks and people that can be in person with folks to just say, hey, you're not alone. That's
very true. And this is, many of the people you will see, they may never have been in this situation before. We're finding people that have never had to have access to services, social services before, are facing that situation. So you can only imagine the stress they are under and not knowing where to turn. And generally speaking, where's the first place people turn when they're in stress and don't know what to do? And that's to the church. You know, it's safe. It's a safe place for them. It's a place where people are willing to help, where they don't have to do a lot of, you know, jumping through hoops, as we say, to get things done. So I would venture to say that the churches are going to almost be the front line for people reaching out that don't know where else to go. And for the church people, don't be reluctant to reach out to your social service agencies. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to help people. So if you have a question or you don't know where to turn, feel free to reach out to me or to any of your social service agencies, and we will help you find an answer and help you serve the people as best we can, because we are in partnership.
Right, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Maureen. I really appreciate the sharing of the information and the encouragement. It's great to be in partnership with you, and I just thank you so much for sharing this information.
Well, you're quite welcome, and I enjoy the partnership as well. And please use me as a resource. You're welcome to send out my email if somebody needs some assistance in some way.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.